One of the hardest things to understand is how God is working at the big picture level. A lot of people disagree, they're confused, they don't even believe that God would be working and allowing certain things to happen because God, through his sovereignty, has to allow his will to happen through his people. One of the things he uses time and time again are broken people, broken leaders, people that, as the Bible says, confound the wise. They are used in such a way for which other people, Pharisees, legalists, whatever you want to call it, they look at them and say, how could God use this person? How could God allow certain things to happen? Because those people, they are very narrow-minded in the way that they look at certain issues and certain things. But God, he has an order, he has a structure, he has righteousness, and he allows this, especially when he did this in the Old Testament, for a specific reason. Now, one of the things that God is doing in this time is he's cleaning house. He's exposing, he's dealing with wickedness. And the craziest part is that people don't even see that this is wicked. People don't even see that some of the leftists, if you want to call it, whatever name you want to put in there, how they're hijacking certain parties, how they're using and manipulating their actions to make it look like it's good, but people can't discern what that is. They're looking at these things and they don't even believe that shutting these things down, these programs, these movements, the migrant crisis is one of them, illegal, right? Illegal migrant crossing the border, but not doing it legally, these things, right? People are confusing, supposed refugee status and all this stuff with doing it the right way. And as it's compounding, as it's being more amplified, people are saying, okay, well, I guess enough is enough. How could all these people come in and we can't do anything about it? We don't have the money. We can't house them. We can't help them. And it's becoming a crisis. So when you see it in excess, when you see it amplified, right, magnified, then only then do you say, okay, well, I guess there's a certain line that when you cross it, it's just too much. But if you know standards, if you know rules, laws, then even a little bit, right, doing sin just a little bit is not going to justify, oh, well, I guess you can do it, versus if you do it a lot and then you say, okay, well, I guess that's too much. That's too much. A little bit or a lot to the Lord is still the same thing if you're sinning. And so I'm saying this because you're going to see exposure. You're going to see justice. You're going to see God using people like Trump to do his bidding. One of the things that God's doing right now is dealing with this entire deep state, globalist, whatever you want to call it, cabal, the Illuminati, whatever a term you want to put in there, he's dealing with these people. There's a multi-year operation going on. And even Trump recently, he's getting a lot of flack for this, but he's going on the offensive. He's saying that once he gets in, he's going to deal with all these people. And people are up in arms about this. Recently, all these media outlets saying that, he's going to weaponize the government. He's going to punish his critics. He's going to use these things to totally, utterly destroy his quote-unquote enemies if he gets into office. And then he's going to separate migrant families at the U.S.-Mexico border. They're using language to make it look like it's worse, but really God is using these actions to actually righteously deal with certain things that are not good, right? So migrant families, separating them. But really, this is an illegal act. The same thing for people in federal government that are using their power to, do the corrupt, whatever, political stuff that they're doing, as well as whatever other money laundering / political influence and just all these backdoor type stuff, back table type stuff that's happening. And he's using his power, rightly so, to punish and to allow, I don't even want to say punish, but to bring justice to the crimes that they've committed, the crimes against humanity, the crimes that are illegal, that don't benefit the people and all these things. But the media is going to try to spin this as a way for which he's just going to weaponize the government. He's going to do all these things that's bad for the people. And this is the narrative war we are in. But don't be confused by this stuff. You need to have discernment to see, okay, is Trump really being used for good things, or is he really being used for bad things? And so this is why, if you don't have a prayer life, if you don't see it through the spiritual lens, you don't see it through rational, righteous reasoning, then you're going to get caught up in the narrative. You're going to get caught up in quite frankly, the wrong side. And so this is what's happening. You'll see over the next couple of months, over the next year, that whatever the military is doing, whatever the people behind the scenes are doing, and you're already seeing the Congress, a lot of people, I just saw Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about COVID vaccine deaths and many other things that they're trying to bring to the limelight and to congressional hearings and bringing all these eyewitness testimonies and just many other people. They're getting to the bottom of what many of us have known already, but other people, they've been deceived. There's a narrative war on a lot of hot topics, and people are picking the wrong side. And so I'm saying this because we've got to deal with it en masse. We've got to just take them all down in the sense. But even as I say that, even as other people hear it, people that don't recognize, they don't have the maturity, the understanding, and the open-mindedness, or their eyes are not open to seeing the truth, they're going to fight on the other side of it, going against what actually is good. The same thing happened with Jesus. The same thing happened with the Israelites. The same thing happened with what God, when he was dealing with certain things. People thought, oh, that's wrong. We can't have that. People, humans, they're using their own rational thinking. And oftentimes it's human thinking. It's not big picture, focused, high level thinking that requires a lot more discernment, more deeper, high level strategy. It's very difficult to get into that mind of thinking. And so I'm saying this because I've gone through a lot of my issues in the sense of when I was working in corporate, I was a consultant. One of the things that I used to do was I had to do projects for which we let people go. And at the big picture level, we had org restructuring. We had to let a lot of people, based on whether it's corporate profits or whether it's core competencies and just how the structure of the organization needed to move. Unfortunately, people at the bottom, when they were let go, they didn't know and they didn't understand why it is that some pruning needed to be done for the bigger purpose. And if you only see from a narrow perspective, and again, I'm not trying to belittle people. People have a perspective. They don't see the bigger thing. They don't see the big chess piece moves that are happening the way Trump, the military, is seeing it. And when you see it from such a low level, right, without all the expanse of knowledge and what you know of the world, then you're not going to agree with these things. Same with migrant crisis, same with immigrants, same with these things, same with the government. Me, when I saw the big picture of certain things, in some sense it's heartbreaking, but it was necessary to move forward with the greater good of whatever, the org was at the time when I was, in that strategy consulting role. And so I'm saying this because a lot of us, we have to humble ourselves. We have to be open-minded. We have to trust God and realize that God is working. He's working right now through certain people, broken people. He's having this huge orchestration of events. Many of us don't understand it, but we have to come to terms with how God is truly working in this hour. So love you guys. Expect more exposure. Expect more justice, judgment of God as he cleans house. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.